It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back to HabsCast. Blain Potvin joining me tonight. Thank you, Blain. You're not at sea. I saw a picture of you yesterday. You were out in the water.
Well, I try to get out on the water every now and then, just for fun.
Oh well, glad it was fun. It was a nice picture. I'll say that. But we are here today. I woke up this morning to an email telling me that my Instat account was finally activated again after being out of commission for almost 2 weeks, so I could download all the videos that I had made on the top 30 prospects and actually launch this. But much to my chagrin, as I started to trying to download the videos, wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I found out that the more studying I did on it, apparently any video where I highlight a player, and that's 97% of my videos, because I'd like people to see who the heck they're looking at, wouldn't download. So I had to do some scrambling and get my old computer out, find old videos of these prospects, download them, send them to my new computer, clip the length that I wanted. Anyway, I just been at it since 6:30 nonstop. But I think, you know what? I think we made it here. I think we're going to be okay. I'm pretty sure that we can pull this off. So bear with me. This is my first time attempting to produce a show where I have 10 images and 10 videos, but we'll try to do it as smoothly as possible. But a couple of weeks back, Blain was nice enough to do what turned out to be a top 41. I cut one off and said, well, let's make it a top 40. Top 40 Habs prospects. So I thought I would get him. Since he went that deep, he'd actually know who I'm talking about with prospects 21 to 30, who I am going to feature tonight. So Blain, are you ready to rock and roll?
I Googled some of the names so I can know who they were.
Okay. Oh, very, very good. I couple of Habs news things today. I was going to download this picture of Slav becoming an honorary citizen of a town I've never heard of, but that's how popular he is in Slovakia. Even the neighboring towns. It's not like not like in Corner Gas when they spit when they mention the next town. They actually made him. The village of Budimir made Slav their first ever honorary citizen. Now that's when you know that a guy, he's a rock and roll star in Slovakia, isn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, if growing up in Sudbury, if anyone said the NB name, you just spit.
Right.
But yeah, you don't get an honorary citizenship in North Bay if you're from Sudbury. So right. Yeah, he's definitely a rock star.
Yeah, I guess so. Capriol, not so bad, but North Bay.
Well, it's part of Sudbury.
Oh, tell somebody from Capriol that.
Hey, as a proud former AAA Capriol Hawk, I can say that they're now part of Sudbury.
Okay. I remember playing in the Capriol tournament, actually.
Me too.
We had friends of the family, actually, that lived in Capriol. And went up and stayed at their place and played in that the great Capriol tournament. And played Capriol and beat them, spanked them like 7-1 or something like that. But,
what year was that?
Because it
wasn't the year I played.
Yeah, no, it was a few years before that, Blake. Anyway, I had to impress this girl that was a friend of the family. She was Her boyfriend was actually Mark Major. Do you remember Mark Major?
No.
Played for North Bay. Oh, he played for North Bay, so you wouldn't remember him. Okay.
Cool.
Anyway, um, long story, and I won't get into it. So, what else did happen here? Okay, we didn't have a podcast yesterday, so there was some news in Habs land. The fact that Laval, and now I mentioned this like 3 days ago, Blaine, and I don't know if they said, "Oh, geez, we better announce this because people are complaining about it." But all of a sudden, voila, they announced that Ilya Izov is back as the permanent goalie coach in Laval, and David Urquhart, yet another McGill alum, has been hired as assistant coach with the club. Your thoughts, if any, on this, on them finally announcing the moves?
I think they've got a pretty solid group of coaches there. They got Martin Lapierre is there as well.
Yeah,
Charles Juno is there as the video coach. He's what is that? Fourth year, third year?
something like
He's been
that.
there a
Yeah.
few years.
Hmm.
But overall, I think they've got a pretty strong coaches cabal there. They're known for developing players, which is exactly what you need in Laval, especially now that the top prospects aren't going to be going through there. They're going to go with the B level, C level prospects. So a little bit more work is going to be involved in getting them going. And I think that this is a group that could do that.
Yeah. I think I found it interesting that their hires in the offseason here. Okay. They promoted Daniel Jacob to head coach. He's a former
Yep.
defenseman with McGill. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They bring in Derek Lalonde, who specialized in PK and defense for most of his NHL career as assistant and a head coach. They bring in Urquhart, who, interestingly enough, in his freshman year at McGill, was teammates with Daniel Jacob. So obviously, they're important really when you let the head coach and the new head coach especially kind of make a suggestion on who perhaps could be his assistant coach. You want them to be on the same page, right?
Yeah, you want comfort level. And what it tells me is they're going to be looking to Laval to generate their bottom six. These are players that are going to be worked on defensively, the penalty kill, more of a north-south grinding kind of play. So the players that are going to be coming out of here for the most part are going to be guys that excel at that end of it. It does look like they're preparing Laval now to be able to produce quality bottom six players because they
Right.
seem to have the plan set now for their top six.
And also, I think,
And
maybe
defense.
improve the defense as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A combination of both. But, like I was going to get at there, all three of these hires are defensive minded coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Montreal didn't need help in scoring goals. That's going to, I think, be a strong point of the team going forward here, as these young guns only presumably increase their point production. You expect Demidov to keep increasing his point production. You expect Slav to, he's still got another level there. Hage will be coming in, putting up points. Hudson, who knows, man? He might be a 100-point defenseman on the trajectory he's going on. So, you know, where were they middle of the pack last year? It wasn't in goal scoring, it was in
No,
defense.
it's
So,
defense. Yeah.
right, I think it's a smart move to focus on improving uh the facet of the game where you keep the puck out of your own net.
And Laval did pretty well with goal scoring as well last year. I think they finished in the
Yeah.
top 6 or 7 in the AHL for goal scoring. So and defensively, they were a little bit lower down. I think they were middle of the pack at best. So this makes perfect sense. They're not too concerned with the goal scoring as much as they are the defense.
Right. Yeah. Good point. The other, still a little quiet in the NHL front. Not a lot going on. It's, I thought this was a
It's
good
August.
timing to do. I thought it was a good timing to do the top prospects because there's really no main topic. I even took yesterday off because it was just, just not a lot of people watching with good reason. First of all, there's not a lot of news. Second of all, a lot of people on vacation and just not thinking hockey for 1 month of the season anyways. I'm always thinking hockey. Every day's a great day to talk hockey, but I can understand there are some people in the world that aren't wired like I am. And
Yeah,
what
last
about
night I
you?
was more pinky in the air, fancy dinner type of thing. So,
Oh,
um,
okay. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
right. I
yeah,
had invited you on, and then when you canceled, I said, you know what? Like, what's a show without Blaine?
right.
Why even
Enjoy
have
the
a show?
beach. Go to the beach. Enjoy the beach.
uh, Biggest news that I could come across tonight: no more hockey night in Punjabi. That was the big one tonight. But I was looking at the numbers, Blaine, and averaged 1,000 to 1,500 viewers a game. I mean, that's not sustainable, right? Yeah.
No.
Apparently, when they started, they were getting over 200,000 viewers in
Yep.
2017 when this was launched, and I mean, obviously, it was a curiosity for a lot of Indian Canadians, and you know, uh, 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 sure, okay, it's kind of cool that it's in our own language, but this isn't cricket. They just couldn't. It just didn't hold their interest, right? So, what seemed like a good idea at the time, and maybe even sort of worked for a couple of years. I've seen a lot of criticism for Sportsnet for doing this, but this is one where I'm sorry, but you've got a production staff and a whatever, like you're paying
There's a
20,
cost.
30, advertisers going to start pulling out, and it's just not sustainable.
And a lot of the people, like I know quite a few people who've moved here from India, and
Hmm.
them watching those productions got them into the sport, and then they started watching with everybody else. So in English and in
Right.
French. And they just moved over. So there's a ton of new hockey fans. They're just no longer watching it in Punjabi. They're watching it in English and French, which,
Yeah.
I mean, quite a few left the sport altogether because, like you said, it was a bit of a novelty for them. And hockey is not really their thing, but quite a
Right.
few fell in love with the game, stuck around, and are just
Yeah.
enjoying it with people here in the languages that were more prevalent here.
Right.
So it
And
wasn't a
one of
it
the
wasn't a waste.
and one of them also does the play-by-play in English, and
Yeah.
is actually very good. I
Oh
I think
yeah.
he's an outstanding broadcaster. So they just watch him instead of the Punjabi. So
Great if we had hockey night in Canada, but yeah, that's another story altogether.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Mm.
okay. Well, okay, that exhausts our huge topics.
News of the
I
day.
know that. Yeah, it's hard to it's hard to upstage that stuff, but we're going to, because we've
We're gonna
got
try.
we're going to start with number 30 here and count our way down to 21, and I'll just a little, I think you're going to be a little surprised about one of the, maybe even the guy ranked 21, but so you'll have to stick around to see who that might be and to tell me that I am crazy. I mean, it's true, but I just sometimes it needs to be confirmed. All right, number 30. I hope this works. Let's see. Luke Middlestat. Check out that, eh? Do you like my graphics there? Not too bad, eh?
Beauty.
Thank you very much. Um, let's go to the video. All right. Drafted in the 7th round, 197th overall in the 2024 draft or 2023 draft. Luke Middlestat, 5'11", lefty from Eden Prairie, Minnesota, who turned 22 last January. Yes, folks, he is Casey Middlestat's little brother. He spent 4 years with the Gophers, and the past season was named captain soon after. He was nothing if not consistent production-wise in his 4 collegiate years, putting up point totals that ranged from 18 points to 21. The Gophers were a train wreck in his final year after losing Snuggerud, Matthew Wood, Oliver Moore, Sam Rinzel, and it showed in his plus minus going from plus 23 to minus 10. But it was more a product of Minnesota's lack of talent than any regression in his game. Are you all right there, Blainer?
Oh yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay. Middlestat logged huge minutes with the Gophers in all situations. Anchored the power play, penalty killing units. He was signed by the Habs soon after his college season ended, playing the final 9 regular season games and logged big minutes from day one, averaging more than 21 minutes per game with Laval. He was typically paired on the top unit with Adam Engstrom. So, Mr. Where did you have Luke? Somewhere around there on your list?
Yeah, I had him down
tier?
low on my list.
Okay.
You know, he was.
What are your
I had him
thoughts
like
on him?
I had tiers, and to me, he was more of a long-term project, a depth flyer. And I mean, at the AHL level so far, what I've seen, he can be a steady kind of presence. He moves well. He's got a pretty good hockey IQ. He's not flashy. He doesn't do any one thing great, but he doesn't do anything poorly either.
Right.
He's the kind of guy that you put with somebody who you want to provide a little bit more leeway. Like when like you mentioned with Engstrom, they needed Engstrom to be a little bit more offensive. You put Middlestat with him. He can play a little bit more steady defensively, still move the puck well, still read the play well, and provide that kind of support. Organizationally, I think for now his value is going to be as an AHL depth kind of guy, and maybe in a couple of years he might be able to be that call up to fill into an NHL role if required for injuries or for a short period of time.
Yeah. Well, they clearly like him. I mean, playing him
They
41 minutes right off the friggin' bat, right? I wasn't sure if he'd be signed. I mean, 7th round picks and a lot of depth in the organization, but he was captain in Minnesota. He played 26 minutes a game. Typically, that kind of a player that's used that much, utilized that much in college. The transition from college to the AHL is not, it's not a huge jump. It's
still a jump, but not huge.
Not like junior to AHL, right? There's a lot of older players, obviously in college, and men. You're playing against bigger, stronger men as a rule. So the jump is not as large. And he played, like I say, 21 minutes, but they put him on the top pairing. He was with Reinbacher one game. He's with Engstrom most of the time. So they like him. I just, a little vanilla, right? When you say, was everything okay, but nothing great. He's not overly big. He's not physical. Nice skater. Moves the puck okay. Doesn't have a great shot. He's not going to get a lot of points. A Jordan Harris type of defenseman, right? But I don't know as good as Jordan Harris, but just a little below Jordan Harris, right? But just that style. The fact that he's on the left side and that he's not very big and not physical tells me there's not a future, I don't think, in Montreal. It would be, unless there's a rash of injuries and he's the third guy called up or second guy called up from Laval in 3 years, maybe in a circumstance like that. But um, I find he keeps good gaps. He trusts his skating, and it's good. Um, what I found that he did a lot too much is pinch and get caught pitching
Yeah.
far too often. I found in that way in college, and when he went to Laval, I found him doing the same thing. Now, part of is positive because it's telling you, okay, well, this guy's not lacking confidence. A lot of people when they move into AHL, they're tentative. He certainly was not tentative from day one. He's got lots of confidence. Um, I think he's going to be a very good AHL defenseman for a lot of years. I think is what you've got with Luke Mittelstadt, and probably even wear a letter at some point in Laval.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, at this point in time, that's the kind of defenseman Laval needs.
Hmm.
If everybody was in the right chair and everything is all filled out and healthy, he would be their number 4 or 5, likely a third pairing kind of guy. He can play up a little bit. He can play. So he's kind of one of those guys that can play up and down their lineup in Laval. Um, and provide a little bit of stability because he is a little bit older than some of these guys too, because he played all 4 seasons
Right.
in the NCAA, which is helpful, honestly helpful at this point in the development of a lot of these prospects. So I think he's going to have a pretty outsized role considering, uh, honestly, a very, very limited future with the Canadians, but he's going to have a pretty big role to play in Laval, I think, this season.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Um, VDoc saying Middlestat better puck management than the Chaos Gazelle. I don't know who
Who's,
you're
who's
referring to
that?
there. I don't know because it can't be Reinbacher because it if that's who you're referring to, you're blind, VDoc. And
Don't
that's
get me
going to
wrong, he
play.
does have pretty good puck management. He plays high percentage more
Yeah,
often than not,
but so does
but better
Reinbacher.
than he's not better than Reinbacher.
No, and his
No,
puck management isn't better than Reinbacher's either. So I
no,
don't
that's
know what
yeah,
he's
like
getting.
in anything, yeah.
No, no. Um, Hey, Charles is on board from Scotland, tuning in. Thank you,
Great.
Charles. Yeah, you guys haven't got things aligned yet, eh? Where you're gonna go to the pub.
I'm not sure which city in Scotland I'm going to yet.
Okay. Uh, and Sheldon, echoing what I said, Middlestat probably strictly an AHL defenseman. I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
we can be safe with that. Chaos Gazelle is Matheson. Oh, okay. I didn't know Matheson had skinny legs, long skinny legs. Sorry, I missed that altogether. Okay. Um,
Oops. No.
if Middlestat does make the NHL, it will not be with the Habs. Yeah,
I agree.
I think that's
We'll
very.
get a cup
And
of coffee
Sheldon,
in the NHL.
thank you for the toonie. And that'll get me a cup of coffee. Speaking of which, all right. So that's number 30. 29. We're getting any guesses?
I know what's coming, but
Okay, good. Because it is Maximilian Zuba, left defenseman, number 29 prospect for your Montreal Canadiens. Let's get to the tape here. All right. He 6'3", 215-pound lefty, turns 24 later this month. Born in Poland, but developed in Germany. Zuber was a 6th-round pick of the Arizona Coyotes, 63rd overall in 2022. He already had considerable pro experience before he was drafted and helped the Red Bull Munchins win the DEL championship in 2023. Zuber spent the past 3 seasons with Tucson in the AHL and has been remarkably consistent offensively, producing 28, 32, and 27 points. Last season, he scored a career-high 11 goals in 65 games, leading Tucson's defenseman, and he leads the organization as the Roadrunners' all-time leading goal scorer by a defenseman. He played in 2 World Junior tournaments for Germany and was the alternate captain on the 2022 squad that reached the quarterfinals and finished 6th. He has appeared in 3 World Junior Championships for Germany and made his senior World Championship debut at just 20 years of age. Appeared in 1 game for the Coyotes on April 24th against Seattle, the age of 21. The Canadians acquired Zuber from Utah for Joshua Waugh on June 29th and signed him to a 1-year, 2-way contract on August 3rd. Yeah. Blain, word on the street is that after signing, Zuber went right out and bought a Subaru. What do you think?
Ooh, as far as dad jokes go, I'm going to give that maybe definitely a bottom tier of my my prospect list. But for Zuber, I think that's a trade. I didn't have him on my list that I provided for the Patreon.
Okay.
I think the trade happened soon after I put that list together. So I would probably have had him a little bit higher, not much higher, but maybe a couple of spots ahead. But overall, big guy, can skate well especially for someone his size. Good gap. He could play physical. He's a defense first kind of guy. And I think his top end, like his ceiling, would be a fill in on a third pair at the NHL. But it's going to take a little bit more time before he gets there. He doesn't have that consistency that you need yet to really be an NHL player. But for Laval, this is a guy who could definitely step up into a top pair and reliably just you won't hear his name much, but that's why he's going to be good there, because he just does all those little plays, in front of the net, along the boards, good gap. He's not going to make any big offensive skill play. He's not going to do anything, end-to-end rush. He's not doing any of that, but he's going to make life hard on the attacking forwards. And that's his game. He's defense first. So overall, I think there's a possible NHL call-up in there in the next couple of seasons.
And, defense first, yet he scored 11 goals as the all-time, goal-scoring leader for Tucson defenseman. Yeah, he can score the odd goal. I think his skating isn't great.
Okay.
It like his pivots are a little clunky, and I think that's a part of his game he needs to keep working on. But he is not that old. Like a big defenseman like that, typically, it can take till you're 26 before you're really, got it all together. I like him ahead of Middlestat. Obviously, the size. Like right now, I think Middlestat's maybe a little as good or maybe a little better, but in a different way. But I think there's still upside with this guy, where I think in 2 years' time he's going to be ahead of Middlestat. I think what you see is what you get with Middlestat. He's sort of peaked as far as his development goes. This guy, a little raw, and that's why I've got him ahead of Middlestat.
Oh, yeah.
He could have been anywhere 22 to 29 on my list. I haven't seen enough of him to put him up that high, but I agree he could be higher. However, he's only been he hasn't played a game in the Montreal Canadiens organization. So I docked him some for that. Fair enough?
Fair.
Okay. All right.
But he definitely fits the bill of what they're looking for now, is that size and a little bit of grit, maybe a stiff arm here and there. That's what they're looking for.
I think he's got a lot better chance of playing some games with the Canadiens than Luke Mittelstadt down the road.
Yeah.
But there needs to be some. He still needs to get a little quicker. Keep working on his. But he's a big boy, and it's not always. Look at a guy like Michael McCarron. He had to work on his skating. 7 years before he was finally had a adequate where he could play a regular role in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Different position, but similar type of bodies. All right, we are at number 28, and it happens to be former first round pick, and everyone will know who that is. Philip Meshar, right wing. Let's view a little bit of the tape on Mr. Meshar. I think. Can we add up? There we go. 5'10", 185-pound forward from Slovakia, turned 22 in January. The Canadiens selected him 26 overall in the 2022 NHL draft, 25 picks after taking his good friend Slav first overall. Meshar already had 2 full seasons of pro hockey under his belt in Slovakia when he was drafted, including 16 points in 37 games in his draft year. Played 1 game with Laval as an 18-year-old before being sent to Kitchener, where he spent the next 2 seasons in the OHL. He's represented Slovakia at 3 World Junior tournaments, or he did, including an impressive 9 points in 5 games in his final appearance in 2024. After turning pro full-time, Meshar spent the past 2 seasons in Laval. This year was his busiest as a pro, playing 71 games, producing 9 goals and 27 points. He also made his senior World Championship debut for Slovakia in May. Fair to say that Mr. Meshar has been a disappointment so far. Here's a few, I thought I would put, there's a lot of negativity around, so I thought I'd show a few of his nice plays, right? There is some offensive potential there. He does have very good skill, but he has yet to find his place in the pro game in North America. I'm a little surprised by that because the 2 years that he did play in Slovakia as a very young teenager, I saw a guy that I thought could play against pros, but obviously different hockey internationally in Slovakia, not a high, not as high a level as the AHL, obviously. And he has found, he sat out at playoff time, right? He wasn't even dressed. Having him 28th overall, if he hadn't been a first round pick, Blaine, I would not have had him on my list. But because of that, I think he'll get a better opportunity now. New coach, new beginning. Even though Jacob was part of the coaching staff last year, I think Meshar will get a better opportunity this year. This is his make or break year as far as staying in the Canadiens organization. And I look for him to have a lot better year this year and a semi breakout at the AHL level.
Yeah, I kind of have him on my bottom tier as well. He's been a long-term project, and they're basically at the point now where I agree, it's make or break for him. He's got to try someplace else if it doesn't work out this season. But I think this season is when his best opportunity for getting a top 6 role is available to him in Laval. They're They're going to be a much more defensive-minded team. He's got a couple of years of AHL experience under his belt now. There's really no more excuses as to his acclimatization to North America. I mean, he played 2 years in the OHL, and I thought he did well enough there.
Yeah.
And then you watch him play internationally, he's excellent. And then he plays professionally in North America. Sometimes he's invisible. So it's consistency for me. If he can find that gear, that extra gear that I know he has, we see it internationally, can play with that level, he can play with consistency. He'll be able to provide that secondary scoring in Laval, and I think that could open a door for him down the line for a call up or as a possibility on a third line somewhere. But the door is not very wide. There's just a little nudge, slight sliver of daylight for him in Montreal. I think his NHL chances are going to be somewhere else, but this is his year to prove he could make that jump.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think there's still there's a fair bit of untapped potential there.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of things that I liked in Kitchener in his 2 years there. That one playoff where I think he led the OHL in assists, if I'm not mistaken, or
Yeah, he
it was
carried the
Kitchener, and
Rangers.
he was really good, and
Yeah.
I liked him. You know, I had him ranked as a first round pick in his draft year, and obviously that ranking does not look good today. I mean, it was late in the 20s, so I liked him. I just a good playmaker, very strong lower body, fast, agile, uh, not has a decent shot but doesn't shoot enough. It's like a lot of Europeans who shall remain nameless, but yeah, I think this is kind of his make or break year with the organization. Um, and I have a feeling that he will make significant strides this year, sign another contract with the Canadians, and still have a couple of more years to try to you know try to adapt enough to the NHL, to the pro game in North America, to at least challenge for an NHL spot in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, Slav was named the Slovakian Player of the Year once again, edging out Marian Hossa. It was a close vote, but
And Philip Meshar.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Martin Ferraveri, and there's a couple, but you know, I wouldn't say it was um, select company, but anyway, Kelly, I was hoping there would be a little bit more exuberance for number 29. Thank you for backing me up on. Yes, that was better than my Subaru, but you
Yep.
know, the best I could come up with in a short period of time. My I'm channeling my inner Ron McLean, and just be forewarned if that really made you groan, you might want to tune out because it's going to get worse. All right, we are going to go to number 27 here. I know a lot of people are going to say that low. Sam Harris, Denver University. Let's have a quick look at the tape of Mr. Samuel Harris. He was 5'11", 190-pound right winger from San Diego who turned 23 in March. Canadians select him in the 5th round in the 2023 draft after he scored 30 goals with Sioux Falls at the USHL. He spent the last 3 years in Denver, where he's already won 2 national championships, scored 14 as a freshman, broke out with 23 goals last year, earning him 3rd team all NCHC honors. His goal total dropped to 15 this past year, but he matched his career high with 35 points and helped Denver win another championship. Rather than turn pro this summer, Harris elected to return to Denver for his senior year. There's also a neat Montreal connection. His father's family is from Montreal, which is kind of, I don't know that everybody knew that. And his dad played hockey growing up. Harris was actually writing a university science exam when the Canadians drafted him. So that is pretty cool. And that's a quick look at Sam Harris. Blain, were you writing a science exam when you found out you'd been drafted, presumably to the Navy?
I volunteered, and
Oh, okay.
I had to write my science exams after I volunteered because apparently to do what I do, you need an education. I wouldn't have
Oh,
signed on otherwise. I mean, God, I don't know how. I must have cheated, but I passed, and here I am.
okay. Very, very good. So you,
But
but you weren't,
but
so
when it
you
comes
weren't
to
drafted.
Harris,
Yeah.
no
Okay.
drafts, no drafts in the military up here yet.
No, I meant
But for
hockey.
Sam Harris, it's a fun story. I like his story. I like his background. I like he's got the schooling. It shows a work ethic. It shows a desire to complete what he had started. It also provides him another opportunity to develop his game a little bit more before making a jump. I think he still needs to add some strength. So overall, not a bad choice in my opinion to stay,
Yeah.
especially in a
Well,
program like Denver's. My God, they could the best in the nation again.
but did he have a choice though? Did you think the Canadians offered him a contract? Like, I don't think they did.
I don't know if they got to that point. I think he made the decision pretty early on, probably thinking it's probably not going to happen, so may as well just declare it
Right.
now. But
Yeah.
still, it works out best for him in his development. I think he'll be able to finish his degree. He'll be able to add some strength, and for the way he plays his game, I have him a little on a higher tier than the last couple of guys. I have him set as a depth player, a potential depth
Mm,
player. He plays a style of game that you want to see from your bottom six. So like a third line kind of guy, a grinded out winger who can play a little bit more physical, who has a good vision, who can put up a few points. And what we saw this season versus last season, yeah, his goal numbers went down, but he added a little bit more physicality. He added a little bit more uh, puck retrieval and play generation in the offensive zone, which I think plays better to his strengths in the long term. Because as good of a shot as he has, I think he's a better uh, forechecking puck retrieval kind of guy.
interesting. Okay. I I don't know. He's 5'11" and not a very good skater. I don't
That
see
yeah,
that. I don't see that being something that in the future that they're looking for in the bottom six. Um,
no,
I
it's gonna
don't
be some
know that.
AHL time there.
Yeah, I don't know if the Canadians are going to sign him. To be honest with you, and he might just be one of the first college guys to when his year is up, uh, see the writing on the wall, look at the depth of the Montreal Canadiens,
Yeah,
and it's kind of a mutual decision where he tests the free agent market, so to speak, and maybe finds a deal with another organization. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe they do sign him at the end of the year. If he doesn't, I think he'll have to have like a hell of a you know, we can't see another drop in his precipitous drop in his goal production from year to year.
yeah,
If he'd have jumped up and scored more goals than he had in his second year, maybe he would have signed with the Canadians. Typically, if a team really wants you, they're signing you after your junior year, you know so that there isn't that possibility that you test the free agent market after your senior year. But we'll see. Certainly don't hate the player. I've got him in the. I think the Canadians have 35 decent prospects, and he's one of the
he's one of
top
them.
27. So I don't dislike him as a prospect. I just like a few others. The scouting, the size, the skating, size skating combo and all that's always important for scouts. And I
Yeah,
don't see NHL skill with this kid other than his shot.
true. Yeah, I can see that. And to be brutally honest, this is kind of like the Jared Davidson situation with the skating. The knock on Davidson when he made the jump was his skating. So he signed an AHL deal, which I think is what would happen with Harris if they feel like he's worked on it enough. So next season, if he were to stay in the organization, it would be on an AHL contract to Laval. I don't think he's going to sign an NHL deal, and he'd have to do a full season, like a prove it, like Davidson did. He showed up. He showed that he worked on what he needed to work on, improved, and he got his NHL deal out of it. I think that's the path for Harris with the Canadiens if he stays with Montreal. But like you said, I think it's more likely that he goes somewhere else where it's not oceans deep along the wings for prospects. He'd have to
Right.
go someplace a lot thinner. I think he's gonna. Yeah, I think he'll walk at the end of the fourth year.
Okay. I have to give a shout out to Mark who gifted 2 HabsCast
Ooh,
memberships. Thank you very much for being so kind to your fellow, and then sent $10 as well. Guess he figured, oh geez, Grant's not commenting on the gifted membership, so I better send money so I can get some love here. Thanks as always, Mark. You are overly generous as always. According to Charles, he said he liked something that's last said about salaries. I didn't catch that. What did do you know what it was? Can you
I'm not
maybe
sure.
expand on that, Charles? Scotty Powell, who I met for a pint the other day, says, "Great to see you again, Blaine, on the show. Had a pint with Grant, and he speaks very highly of you." Oh, you don't?
Oh, good. My
Oh,
payments are it's kicking in.
yeah. Okay. I was just gonna, Scott. Like, you don't have to. You don't have to fib, man. It's okay. You can tell them what I really said. But great to get insight into players I would rather wise not have seen or been able to make an opinion on. Great show. Thank you, Grant and Blaine, for putting this work in. Hey, no problem. Uh, loved last comments regarding salary. Okay. Well, maybe
Not sure what
somebody
they were,
can.
but okay.
No, I rarely see these kids play. Slap is really a couple steps ahead of his age group on and
Hmm.
off the ice. You're right, Joe. Gleb played in KHL exhibition game. Right on. I was so busy today, I didn't have time to look at any games. And right now, so far, Instat, they didn't give us access to European players. So there's been a couple of glitches. I mean, it's back, sort of, but yeah, I'm not able to look at European. They got to get that sorted out because we got the exact same deal as last time, and we definitely had European. Well, hey, half the Habs major prospects are European. Gotta be able to look at him. He played on the third line. All right, he'll be. I think Gleb's in the. He's in the KHL this year.
Oh yeah.
He's got the physical and the defensive game. He's got the physical makeup and the defensive game to play in the KHL regularly. I do believe this year, Blaine. You were supposed to say something, but that's okay. Hi, Grant. Hi, Blaine. Is it possible to have a list of the prospects so far? No. You're going to have to go back and watch the show. I don't have a list. I could only have 10 images on here, and it happens to be the 10 players. So apologies for that, but no. Cooper Cleese fan club. Well,
Blame
you
them.
might. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to see him featured tonight, but why don't we keep going and see here?
Wow.
Number 25, Tyler Decos, right winger.
Oh, you skipped a couple.
Oh, did I?
You
26.
skipped 26.
Sorry about
There
that.
he is.
No, Maxon Big. All right, let's have a look at Maxon. Thank you, Blake. Big Bad Max. He is huge. Well, big enough anyway. He's 6'2", 212 from Bismarck, North Dakota. He turns 21 in November. The final player selected by the Canadians in the 2025 draft, going in the 7th round, 209th overall. He's something of a late bloomer, took an unusual route to being drafted. Played high school hockey in North Dakota before joining the Oklahoma Warriors of the NHL, where he was named rookie to the league's all-rookie first team in 2023-24. Moved up to Cedar Rapids of the USHL for his draft year and put himself on the map offensively, scoring 10 goals, 32 points. That was enough for the Canadians to take a shot on the then 19-year-old with their final pick of the draft. Vig made another jump this past year, moving to college with Bemidji State for his freshman year. He averaged close to 18 points per game in ice time and was on the first PK unit. Not many defensemen score 6 times more goals than assists in a season, but that was what Vig achieved in his freshman campaign. Presumably, that assist total will go up this season. So, here's our quick little look and recap of Maxon Vig, who I didn't want to talk about apparently, but anyway, what do you think? What do you think of Maxon and being ranked 26th?
Yeah, I mean, I still have him listed as a long-term project. He's not super high on my list, but big kid, moves well for someone his size. You can tell he is still very raw especially with his mobility. Uh, there's some work that needs to be done on the footwork there so he can become a little bit more efficient, a little bit quicker with those changes. His gap control could improve with that extra footwork. He's never going to be someone that's going to put up a ton of points. If he's going to make it, it's going to be based on defensive positioning and a grittier style, which I think he could pull off, but it's going to be a full 4 years of college, then a few years in the AHL before he really does get a real shot.
Yeah, I think he's a better skater than Zuber, certainly at the same age. So
I could see that.
That's why I've got him ahead of Zuber. Didn't throw a lot of hits this past season, but when he does hit, and there was a couple of highlights there, he can hit. So I think, I think in this year, he is going to make a good step. And the fact that he had 6 goals too, he's got a decent shot. Like there is a little bit of offense there. It's mostly a good shot. Renaissance Resistor says, I heard he's big in Japan. Could be. I heard he drives a Volkswagen Figaro, but yeah, maybe he is big in Japan. All right, rolling out the puns here. They're getting worse. They're getting worse. I guess it's not a real big surprise who's number 25 here, right?
No, not anymore.
Hey, I kind of let the cat out of the bag. Oh well, he's still number 25, folks. Tyler Decos. This is one of my wild cards. I think people are maybe sleeping a little bit on this kid. Let's have a look here. He's got. I think he skates pretty well for his size, and the more I looked at him, the more impressed I was when I was, when I broke down the tape. I can't say that I honestly scouted him before he was drafted, but there's reasons for that. 6'1" winger from Canmore. Doesn't know Mike. He turned 19 in January. He has the distinction of being the final player selected in the 2026 NHL draft, Mr. Irrelevant, with the Canadians taking him 224th overall, Blaine. Decos was passed over his first year, obviously. He spent it in AAA U18 hockey in Alberta, but his development took a significant step forward this past season. Started with Drumheller in the AJHL, scored 8 goals, 15 points in only 10 games, twice earning League Rookie of the Year honors. That earned him a move to Waterloo of the USHL in November, and the production followed him. He had 7 goals and 17 points in 19 games before an injury ended his season in late January. He signed with Penticton in April and will make another jump this season, joining the V's in the WHL. So I like the, I like the increments here where it's okay. Yeah, he AAA, then AJHL, then USHL. Now he's going to the WHL. So baby steps, but steps nevertheless, right? And I think if he would have played all of last year, that you would have seen him drafted fair bit higher than he was. Because you look at that tape, Blaine, his size, skating, puck handling, shot are all top 3 round worthy as far as I'm concerned. And I think the Canadians got themselves a bit of a dark horse here with the final pick of last year's draft.
Yeah, and his skating, like you mentioned, it's not the greatest, but it's pretty good at this stage of his development. He's going to need a little bit more work on it, and he'll be able to work on it in WHL for sure. But it's more his anticipation. You see where he's going in these highlights. He's reading the play. He's moving into those wide open areas. He's finding those spots, and he's making himself a visible and attainable target, especially on breakouts. That's a very hard skill to teach, and he's already got that skill, and he's got pretty good offensive instincts as well. Like you look at his offensive numbers, nothing's jumping off the page, but every stage that he moves up, his numbers pretty much remain. They're not dropping. They're staying the same, maybe increasing by like a percentage point.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign for somebody's development, that no matter where he's playing, he's producing.
Well, not many players, I don't care what age you are, jump into the USHL and produce a point a game right off the bat.
Yeah,
and he did. So, and then 15 points in 10 games. Again, going from AAA to the AJHL is, it's a decent enough step. And he was 1.5 per game as a rookie in both. So I think that the production is decent. We seem to, I don't know, when you say a guy's a good skater, I don't think so. When I say a guy's a good skater, you don't think so. We clearly have different opinions on what is good skating and what isn't. I don't, and that's fine. Like, skating's not that easy to identify on video, right? And
for him, it's the pivots, because you see when he's working on when he's pivoting in those open areas to make himself available, it's that pivot once the puck starts moving to turn and go up ice. If that could improve a little bit, to me, that's where his skating can improve. The footwork isn't that bad. The speed isn't that bad. Obviously, he's not even 20 years old yet. So,
no,
or did he just turn?
Are they converting him to defense or?
No. It's just the way he plays the game. He needs that pivot so he can get that extra step, that first step, explosiveness. The strength will come. It's just going to take time.
Fair enough. I don't find pivoting to be the be all to end all for a winger as a rule, but okay.
No, but the way he plays, that's kind of he needs it more than most wingers would,
and that's why we get different opinions here. Because I obviously hadn't been really noticing that his pivoting needed work. So that's why we got you. That's why we got you on here later to see those things that I don't, and I appreciate it. 24. We've got Parker Trache, left wing. Let's have a look at the video here if we can. I'm gonna have to go down a bit. There we go. You recognize that name, Trache?
Yeah, I was fully expecting to see some really grainy 1980s video here.
Yeah. 6'1", 185 winger. I don't know. I think he's actually 6 foot. He turned 18 in February, Minnesota born. Canadians selected him in the 6th round in 2026. And yes, the name should sound familiar. He's the grandson of Hockey Hall of Famer Brian Trache. He spent the past 2 seasons with the development program, was utilized primarily in a third line checking role this past season, and was a fixture on the team's top penalty kill. He finished with 11 goals, 27 points in 62 games, and added an assist in 5 games for the U.S. at the U18 World Championships. Trache has been committed to Notre Dame, but signed with the Regina Pats in July and will play in the WHL this season. That takes him to Saskatchewan, the home province of his grandfather, Brian, who grew up in Val-Marie and played some of his junior hockey in the province with Swift Current. So pretty cool that the Canadians, after getting Koivu, follow it up with picking Trache. Blaine, did you know that there's a river running through Swift Current? Not many people know that. Very few people.
Apparently, it moves pretty quick with a very fast current.
Oh, okay.
I think that might have something to do with the name.
Oh, all right. Well, not many people knew. Not many people know that. Not many people.
Don't go swimming in it.
No, exactly. But I like his competitiveness. I think might be his. I think that might be his calling card to one day perhaps competing for a spot at the NHL level, because he does not take shifts off, Blake.
Well, it's almost like it's genetic. He plays like his grandfather played, which was all out at all times. That edge in his game, I think, with him going to Regina, might end up being a really good fit for this young man. A good opening camp could put him on a line with Maddox Schultz and Liam Pugh, who are a little bit younger than him and aren't available until the 28 draft. But if anyone watched the U18s this year or the U17s last year, saw 2 players who can dominate. And what they're missing is a left-handed shot on the wing who can bring that kind of energy. I think he'd be an excellent fit with them, and we would see his game expand because of playing with guys like that. I think he has a skill set and the foot speed and the skating ability to keep up and match really well with those higher skilled players. It's a skill in itself to play with guys like that, and I think Trache has that type of skill in his game. So I'm really looking forward to this season for him.
Yeah, for sure. No, he doesn't have a very high skill level, I don't think. He's not going to play. He's not going to play. I think it'll be a 4th line role if and when he gets a shot in the NHL. But energy role, smart. 2 traits that his dad had, or his grandfather has, obviously, and that's going to be his ticket. Just like a Vinny Rohrer, where I think that it's that competitiveness, that consistent compete that is going to make him a good pro player. and also he's smart. He makes smart plays when he does get to the puck. Skating is mind you, Brian Trottier wasn't the world's smoothest. He had a short stride. It wasn't great either, but he just it was balls to the wall, full out effort at all times, right? And I like the pick in the sixth round. Again, it's
Yeah.
a guy that I didn't really, you know, NHL scouts weren't saying, yeah, you got to look at this guy, and so I didn't really pay too much attention to him before. But when I did watch the tape, he grew on me as you came to appreciate how consistently competitive he is.
For Canadians fans who are under the age of 30 and are looking back at former Habs, if you're looking for a type of player that he could also uh, look like stylistically, like a Max Lapierre, not the agitator side of him, and definitely not as much offense, but that energy level that
Yeah,
Lapierre always brought to the game. And that's what Trottier brings. He's also very, very gifted at the forecheck, which was Lapierre's bread and butter as well. So I think if he can play that kind of style, honestly, in Regina with those two like Pugh and Schultz, who really need somebody like that, with Regina about ready to make a jump here to really compete to try and push in the WHL standings. This is a great opportunity for this young man.
yeah, yeah. Sheldon was saying will play with Schultz. Well, I hope so.
Yeah, at least on the
I
same
don't
team.
know. Yeah, I don't know if he'll be on the first line or not. Maybe,
But
but
it's a
I would
chance.
think.
It's a chance.
I think put it this way: I think Pugh and Schultz will be on the first line, and if you know,
Yeah.
if he's the other guy, bonus, uh, and he'll
Yeah.
get good stats, but not necessarily because he's driving the play. But um, Horvat was a poor skater prior to the NHL, put the work in. Now he's one of the best top six skaters out there. Yeah, well, you can
He's a
you can
top
look at
six
it.
skater for sure.
You can look at players and point to him and say, well, okay, but then you know they're rare examples. Usually, if you're a below average skater before, when you're drafted, like other players that get drafted get better, improve their skating too, and you might become an average skater. But typically, a below average skater does not become an above average skater at the NHL level. And there are the rare instances, but you can't point to that and say, "Well, see, so we got to you draft him high because maybe he'll improve his skating as much as Bo Horvat." It's That's not how it works, but it can always be cited, and you know, um, and you hope when you do draft a player that's not a great skater that maybe you know, uh, I mean, there's mechanics involved. There's bone structure. Like
Strength.
sometimes strength. Like if if you've got flaws in the structure of your body, skeletal, sometimes there's not a lot of improvement that no matter it's limited in just how much you can improve your skating. Um, I mean, NHL teams do. They've got doctors, um, uh, strength conditioning consultants, also like they look at everything, and you know, they try to project. Okay, will this guy with this guy? It looks like it's a strength issue. We think his skating will come. Uh, let's it's important. You try to project, okay, 3 years down the road, will his skating be improved enough that he could maybe play in the NHL, or 4 years? Yes, okay, then we're not going to mark him down because right now his skating isn't great. Um, okay.
Yeah, genetics definitely play a role in this.
Number 23, spoke of him a little earlier, Mr. Jared Davidson. Let's have a look at the video here. Jared, of course, was a another fairly late pick by the Canadians. 5'11", 183, winger, center, mostly wing now. He's from Edmonton. He turned 24 in July. Hasn't had a conventional road either. He went completely undrafted in the Bantam draft and was subsequently cut from his midget AAA team, but eventually spent 5 years with Seattle Thunderbirds in the WHL. Canadians drafted him as a 20-year-old in the 5th round. Well, he's 19, I guess. 130th overall in 2027 after he exploded for 42 goals, 89 points in 64 games. He actually had a big season the year before, too. Added 29 points in 25 playoff games. That's when it really, really was apparent that this kid's a gamer. He returned to Seattle for one more year and led a loaded Thunderbirds team with 38 goals and 82 points. Added another 23 in the playoffs, and Seattle won the WHL title. Then he helped them reach the Memorial Cup final. Davidson has spent the past 3 years in Laval, scoring 16 goals, 25 points in 53 games last year, and earned his first NHL opportunity with the Habs, picking up 1 assist in 10 games. Montreal signed him to a 1-year, 2-way contract in July. I had him ranked a fair bit higher last year, Blaine. I thought, he had a real breakthrough in his second year in the AHL. And I thought maybe, we've seen such an improvement here as he's gone along. His skating improved. You loved his shot. He would get into scoring areas, get off a great shot. He fought guys and beat up guys bigger than him. No fear when it comes to the fisticuffs. There were a lot of pieces there that made you think this could be a 4th line NHLer, And past year, he got the look in Montreal, got the 10 games, couldn't buy a goal. He had some great chances. Yeah. Went back down to Laval, and I don't know what happened there, but he kind of lost his confidence. Do you think maybe getting 1 point in 10 games and not score, doesn't matter what level you're playing in, but if you you stop scoring, sometimes you start gripping your stick a little tight, and even though when he went back down, he still couldn't score. Do you think maybe that had something to do with it?
That could be part of it. I think a little bit of what it has to do with as well is when guys finally make it to the NHL and they stay for a little bit. Like he was there for a solid month, a little bit more, played 10 games. When he finally went back down, it was kind of, I can see how you'd be disappointed, upset, sad, because it was right there. You're like, I worked so hard to get there. I think I finally got a taste of it. And then there's that hangover that comes with it. And then it just snowballs a little bit on him. This is a high character player. He's as honest of a hockey player as you can find. Like on ice, his game is an honest game. And I do believe that, like you, this is somebody who could fill in on a 4th line. It could be helpful to a team. But in Montreal, again, depth does kind of hurt him a bit. And he's just going to end up being one of those guys that kind of move up and down on call-ups. For him to really cement himself in the NHL permanently, he's, with the expansion coming up, I think that's going to be a big opportunity for him to find an NHL job. But he brings energy every shift. He's got leadership. He's high character. At least for this season, Laval's got themselves a really, really good leadership piece here with some offense. And Montreal's got themselves somebody they can rely on as a call-up for their 4th line.
Yeah. I hope he gets a bigger offensive role. He kind of, for whatever reason,
He can. He can do more.
Pascal lost some faith in him there, and he was kind of,
Yeah.
Bottom six. A guy that played 10 games for the only Laval prospect that played double digits games for Montreal last year, and he ended up playing like third, fourth line role as the season went on. I'd like to see him rediscover that scoring touch, and if he does get the confidence rolling again, have a big offensive season in Laval, and show that improvement, another step in his development like he did the previous year. And who knows? I'm obviously, I still like him enough that I've got him in the top 25, even though he made he had a regression last season. But there's some things to like there still. You can't drop him off the face of the earth because of a poor half season. And I think maybe with the coaching change in Laval, a fresh start, just like with Meshar, new coaches, new eyeballs, new approach, and hopefully we see another jump. He plays more like he did the year before, because I really, for a while there, he was one of the most prolific goal scorers in the AHL, and it was only his second pro season. So I still I still have some faith that he can rebound and push for at least another NHL look down the road.
I think he's going to get a good shot in Laval. He plays a really solid two-way game, which I think is going to fit in with the new coach's staff's plan for that team.
Yeah. Sheldon was saying that Brian Trottier is 5'11". Well, he's probably 5'10" now. He's like in his 70s. But he did. Brian Trottier was 5'11" and about 195 pounds. And at the time, he was solid. He didn't get knocked down too often. There used to be
what I understand, his elbow was pretty strong too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Ask Bob Gainey. There was a show, you're probably not old enough to remember, but called Superstars. And they had, you do, eh? Okay. They'd have, and it was silly. They had some silly things. One of them was lift a weight over your head, and Tony Gabriel always did well in it, I remember. But Trottier was in it, and he was one of the stronger athletes. It was always, surprise, it was the hockey player athletes that ended up lifting the most. But Trottier was strong, and he proved it whenever he was in the Superstars competition. So just a little bit of trip down memory lane here. We are at number 22. We're getting into the good ones, folks. And at 22, I have one of my faves, Mr. Philip Eriksson, left wing. I like this kid. Let's bring on the tape here and have a look at him. And we'll just he's a center winger from Ljungby, Sweden, who turns 22 in November, so still only 21. Selected him 6th round. Lots of later draft picks in the 20s. I guess that's where they slot, right? In the 2023 draft, he was a 6th round pick, despite missing most of his draft year with a broken leg. Habs are pretty good for grabbing those guys that didn't get a lot of exposure. Played 11 junior games that year, returned late enough to get into 2 SHL games and 6 playoff games. He freaking made considering how little junior experience he had, it was pretty impressive that he, in second division, he played pro hockey after his draft year, like from day one. Scored 24 points for Nybro in just 21 games. Spent most of the following year with Vaxio, before finishing the year with your Garden, where he had 5 points in 10 games and another 9 points in 16 playoff games. This past season um, was easily his best at Sweden's highest level. Played for Luleå. He scored 15 goals, 29 points in 52 games while finishing +9. He was fourth in scoring among Swedish U24 players in the SHL, which is a interesting stat, and was fourth in scoring for Luleå. So, pretty impressive. Blain, he had a great start to the year last year. He was leading the SHL in scoring the first like 2 or 3 weeks, and I thought, oh,
Yeah.
this guy, look out, right? Ended the year third line, I think, but this is the SHL, and he to be one of the top 4 scorers at his age, under 24 at that level is impressive. I like his smarts. I think he's a pretty smart player. Not in the Roar mold as far as competitiveness, but he has a pretty good work ethic too. What are your thoughts on Eriksson as a prospect?
I think his scoring is a little bit underrated. Like you mentioned, even though he got really high marks in the SHL, people kind of overlook it. I think he tied for the team lead in goals as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he is a hard worker. Not everyone expects, hard worker means, I'm going to go in the corner and throw elbows and cross check. That's not his style of game. He's a really solid two-way center, and he does it through his speed. He's got really good speed. He's got good positioning. He anticipates well, and he gets into lanes and he gets into people's way. He's not the guy to knock someone on their ass. He's more the guy to play into their hands and get the puck off of them, and then take that first step to create separation before making a play. That's the kind of two-way player he is. So he's I wouldn't be surprised to see this kid make the NHL jump in the next after this season. To be honest, I could see him jumping to North America after this season. The Canadians got themselves a pretty decent prospect with a late round pick like this. I think it had a lot to do with the fact that he missed quite a bit of time with an injury that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
what did he? He didn't play a lot internationally because of that either. So I think that kind of
Right.
made him invisible to a lot of people because of that. So it's not a name that jumps up, but good offensive instincts, solid anticipation defensively. He's a center with decent size and speed. There's a lot to like here.
Yeah, there is. I have seen flashes where you think, okay, at the very least, this guy's going to be a really good AHLer, and maybe get some looks with the Canadians and some call ups. I don't know. I don't see top 6 NHL upside there, but
Third line at best, but still.
yeah, but and we all think, okay, they're looking for bigger, more physical bottom 6 guys, ideally down the road. But again, another example of a player that I think, if he doesn't, he'll have some value in the NHL, in NHL circles, even if it's not with Montreal. And I could see him maybe, getting an NHL opportunity at some point down the road, but perhaps with another organization.
Yeah, and keep in mind too, this is a guy that people would hate to play against. He's so incessant. He's constantly buzzing. It's like one of those little, there's a bug always around your ear buzzing. He's one of those guys that's just going to cause problems for you everywhere. He's not He's not going to knock you on your ass, but he's making your life a living hell in so many other ways defensively. I mean, there's something to be said about players like that. You need players like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And we've got one player left to look at here tonight. And yes, this is the one I've been warning you about, that there's going to be people that don't agree, and that's fine. And let us
Can't
know.
overlook him. Keep your eyes down.
Yeah, well, a lot of people know who this is going to be, but all the same, it would be Little John Mooney.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, that's his name. That's why he's outside of the top 20. But yeah, well, let's have a look at the video on Little John's. He's 5'7", 160-poundish, right winger center from West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Mifflin, sorry. Who turned 19 in March. Canadians selected him in the 4th round, 113th overall in the 2025 NHL draft. Hockey runs in the family for Mooney. He's a cousin of Logan Cooley. Mooney spent 2 years with the U.S. National Development Program, broke out in his draft year, scoring 10 goals, 51 points in 51 games. He also had 11 points in 7 games at the U18s, helping America win a bronze medal. Might have had something to do with him being drafted. Mooney moved on to the University of Minnesota this past year, had an impressive freshman year, producing 7 goals, 30 points in 34 games. He also represented the U.S. at the World Junior Tournament, picking up 3 assists in 5 games. Mooney was invited back to the U.S. World Junior Summer Showcase this summer and will be looking to represent his country again this winter. So, Blaine, this is the big question now. Do you think he has Mifflin tires on his car?
Well, I don't know. I hear they do a lot of robbing in his hood, so probably
Okay.
not.
All right. You don't think he got his tires from Mifflin?
No, no, I don't think so. It's more paperweights.
Okay. All right.
It's a paper plant. I don't. My dad jokes are exhausted on this one.
Well, I tried to keep a car theme, but anyway,
yeah. Well, I mean, Dunder Mifflin was a paper. Anyway,
Okay. That one, yeah, I think flew over everybody's head, but nice try.
Especially over this cuckoo nest.
So, L.J. Mooney, Little John. Can you understand why I don't have Little John in my top 20?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't have him very high on my list either. To me, he is the classic home run swing. If he hits, it's a great pick. If he misses, well, being a 4th round pick, whatever. It's a 4th round pick. You're not really missing out. But they took a real chance on this kid. He's got a lot of skill. He can skate. He's got vision. But the size and it's just not there. Like I said, he's a pure home run swing of a prospect. Um, I just don't see him surpassing enough people on the Canadians depth chart to make an NHL to make it to the NHL for a few games. His NHL chances are going to come somewhere else.
That's fair. Yeah. In just looking at this group here, for the most part, Middlestat, 7th round pick, right?
A former teammate is.
Yeah. Vig, 7th round pick. Vig, sorry. Decos, 7th round pick. Trache, 6th round pick. Davidson, 6th round pick. Erickson, 6th round pick. Mooney, right? 4th round. Like, none of these guys were picked high, so you can't expect them to they aren't expected to be in the NHL with Montreal with such depth, with such a great under 24 depth on the team, under 25, such a good stable of prospects. Like the 20 guys that I've got ranked ahead of him, he's not a poor prospect. There are organizations where LJ Mooney might be top 12, or top 15 at least. But the Canadians right now have a good stable of prospects. It's deep. There's a lot of quality there, and I don't think. I think that he plays a too much of a perimeter game and is not good enough defensively to be someone that the Canadians would think, okay, we're going to plug him into a bottom six role because that speed, where he'll be able to help us enough that, we can overlook the fact that he's 5'7" and a perimeter player and not a goal scorer. But, I don't think that there's enough. I don't see it translating, him translating to being a top six player in the NHL. And if he's not a top six player in the league that he's playing in, then he's probably not playing.
Because of the perimeter, the fact he plays on the perimeter, his size.
Right.
I know people point to Caulfield, and we talked about this when we went over this list before in a previous episode. Caulfield goes to the net. He's in that dirty area all the time. You look at the highlights of his goals. You look at where he scores his goals from. They're all within a few feet of the net. Mooney, on the other hand, plays outside that home plate area. He takes those soft areas and he lives there. He can get pucks to people through crowds, that's for sure, but that's not the type of player that will move the needle in the Canadiens organization. If he can find a way to play more into the middle of the ice, he's got a real chance in Montreal. Otherwise, like I said before, his NHL chances are going to come somewhere else.
Yeah, I think so. And but it doesn't mean that he can't be a trade chip down the road.
Absolutely.
If he, I mean, if he puts up 2 assists a game, he's never going to be a big goal scorer, I don't think, at any level. But if in 40 games he gets like 80 assists next year or something like that, there'll be teams that, he goes to the World Juniors and lights it up. There'll be a team out there with a lot of oak trees on the squad that could use a little more skill in their top 9 and say, we can insulate him. Let's I don't know. Let's give Montreal a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick for him, and I think Montreal would be wise to make a deal like that.
And the World Juniors, it's more of a 19-year-olds tournament anyway, and this is the year that would be the case for him. So yeah, absolutely, go in, have yourself an excellent tournament where you take the USA to a semifinal and lose. Would be great. Finish 4th. Have yourself like 2-3 points a game. Awesome.
Yeah, as long as it's not first.
Yeah.
Kenny Pedro saying Mooney might be another Farrell, and Tim Farrell replying right away, "I'm no Mooney." That's a good one. That's a good one, Tim. Quick.
That's not bad. That's pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Next reply. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty funny. Look, we've got for the most part a mature group of not speaking for myself, I mean the people in the live chat, a mature group, and we're not getting anybody that's saying what the hell, LJ Mooney. Because if you go, if this was just posted on X, there would be there would be an outcry, because there is a rather substantial LJ Mooney fan club on social media, and they would be slightly outraged by the fact that I only have Little John ranked 21st overall, but you always chuckle when I say Little John. That is his name.
It's funny to me.
Yeah, well, you can't see the forest. Little John can't see the forest for the trees, I guess, right? That's Sherwood Forest, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
It's more
yeah,
of a Will
I,
Scarlet for me, but
yeah, yeah. Okay, we have a great chat. Very respectful and knowledgeable. Absolutely, yeah. Timmy Farrell, I'm 5'9". There's no spot for me either. What's with all of these Farrells being 5'9"? I don't know what the hell. Um, I I know all about being 5'9", Tim. I often say
so is
that's
my
what kept me out
16-year-old.
of. That's why I wasn't drafted either.
Oh, I just sucked.
No, so did I. Yeah, I was I was a late bloomer, and I didn't bloom very much. The petals fell off pretty early. For the most part, yes, we do. We are also excellent at ignoring trolls. Yes, I don't know people. There was one troll that came
There's
in
been a few.
here, had a comment, and I banned him as fast as I could. Um, anyway, there'll always be a few. Usually, it's a Philadelphia. I find the Flyers fans really, they still don't like me because I said that Demidov was better than Michkov, and
Well, I mean,
crazy statements like that, and
did you know
wasn't the
water's
biggest
wet
Michkov
too?
fan.
Did they get upset
Yeah,
about
I
that?
know,
Jeez.
but they certainly took it to heart when I wasn't the biggest Michkov fan. It's fun. It's been fun the last 2 years on Twitter. Like you see all of these comments. Like Michkov would be trending. Click on it, and it's all whining about talk about. First, it was Tortorelli ruining the kid, not playing him. Then it was Talkett, not playing this kid. He's their best player. Da, 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 da. Yeah, okay. As long as you don't mind a guy never playing defense and never competing, he's their best player. And then you know, and then by playoff time last year, the ones that would still be saying, "Why is he sitting out?" And finally, you know, by that point, Flyer fans had seen it. I was just, "Shut up! Are you not watching him? Like he shouldn't be in the lineup." The kid's he's not producing. He's not trying. He's not competing. He's yelling at the coach. He this that. And, surprise, surprise. By playoff time, he was the tide had turned as far as you know. Every Flyer fan seemingly on social media complaining about him not playing 20 plus minutes a game when, hey, Philadelphia was actually winning. And they're in the playoffs, and it suddenly it dawned on Philadelphia fans that, hey, maybe the team winning is more important than whether one player
What?
gets more ice time than he's getting. You know, um,
Well, I mean, he was
I
playing
mean,
beer league hockey, hanging around up at the red line, waiting for an outlet
right?
pass so he can get an opportunity. And
Yeah,
for those Philly
taking
fans out there being trolls, remember this, and this is important to pay attention. Philly cheesesteak sandwiches are subpar sandwiches. Montreal smoked meat kicks the shit out of those every time. Take that.
absolutely. And you know what? I like it some melted cheese on them too. Oh yeah. I don't like mustard. I put cheese instead. I'm different. I I know when I order them there, I think the chefs, and then it ends up being dry because they idiot that would
They do it on purpose.
order,
Yeah.
yeah, that would order a frickin' smoked meat sandwich without mustard and cheese instead. I'm gonna give them the driest bunch, and I know I went to, was it Schwartz's or Dunn's? I think it was Schwartz's, and I gotta say, because all I ever heard, like, oh, the best. It was so freaking dry. Is it really? This is the best smoked
I always
seed
go for the
sandwich
medium.
ever? Yeah. Well, Cook was having a bad day that day. That's all I can
I
say.
think they saw you coming. They're like, "Oh, this
Yeah.
guy puts cheese on his. Screw him.
Right.
He's getting getting the stuff from yesterday."
Yeah. I think that's what happened.
Yep.
At least I know he didn't spit in it because it was so freaking dry that it wasn't. Gria's trolls are pretty much non-existent here, unlike other sites. No, it is one of the best things. Trolls are great. They spread the algorithm to places it wouldn't otherwise get to. Oh well, I'm not. If I had a choice between being enormously popular with nothing but trolls or being semi-popular without trolls, give me semi-popular. I'm not greedy. I'd rather
I don't know.
be.
How much money are they paying with the trolls?
Yeah,
There's a lot
exactly.
I do. Yeah, it depends how much money there is. Then we'll see.
Right. Well, true. Trolls should keep
I got to
to
retire
their
soon.
jobs. Looking after bridges. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Seagrass was given every opportunity, and he's exciting in Philly. Michkov had his chance, and he hasn't shown he wants it enough. That's fair.
Yeah. Zegras actually showed up and did what he needed to do,
Yeah.
and he played extremely well. And Vegemite is garbage. I still throw up in my mouth a little bit every time I think of
Okay.
that Vegemite sandwich that I had. Oh, terrible.
So that's why he smiled and gave you a Vegemite sandwich because he knew you'd throw up.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
That I loved my time in Australia. Every time I go to Australia, an amazing time, except for those few moments that I took a bite out of a Vegemite sandwich. Mm-mm-mm. No way.
Well, I just know that I wouldn't like it. No disrespect, Joe the Snoop, but anything that starts VEGE, no. Um, unless it's potatoes. I was at Ben's when I was 8 years old. The next time I was there, I was 23. I had the same waiter. There we go. Yeah, I mean, all I'd heard for my whole life, oh, you gotta go to Short, you got it. Oh, the smoked meat sandwich, and it was the driest friggin' sandwich I ever had. Um, you know, I think I had 3 beers with it just to wash it down. I mean, I was gonna have them anyway, but I had them fast. I had them quick. Do they even serve beer? I know that I had lots of water anyway, and yeah, wasn't a great memory. Next time I went to Dunn's. So well, they're
I like
supposed to be
Dunn's.
good too.
Dunn's is good.
Yeah, and it was good. I did really like it. Um, you only need a tiny amount layered on top of a good layer of butter. Okay, so you need an inch of butter, 2 inches of melted cheese, and a little bit of doesn't I don't know. I can
Still no.
there's there's a lot of give me 2 slices of bread, good layer of butter, and melted cheese, and it can make almost anything taste good. Uh-oh,
Almost.
almost.
Not this.
Except
I'm not. I'm not downplaying Vegemite. I'm sure many people like it, but my God, that is not for me. Next time I go, I'm going back to Australia again. Probably next year. I can guarantee I will not be having another one of those ever.
what what's your favorite meal in Australia when you're down under?
Um,
Barbecue?
Man, it's so much. Well, yeah, barbecue is pretty good down there. Um,
Yeah.
the oddest food I had though was a kangaroo steak, and it was actually really good.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, the food there, it's like being up here. It's not that different.
Okay. All right.
Same staples.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Love the show. You guys should do more together. Well, yeah. It's hard when it's hard when you're at sea though. When are you
Yeah.
heading back?
I've got a couple of weeks of prepping one ship here, and then we're going out for September into October. That's why I'm going to be up in Scotland, Ireland, doing little visits up there.
Okay. Difficult to cook kangaroo. Well, frig, how do you get them in the pot? They jump right out.
Well, you got to trick them; they hop in.
Okay. I would not do it myself. Oh, well.
No, and I
Okay.
didn't either. So we had a professional chef do it all up for us.
Okay.
From what I vaguely remember, it's there's a lot of scenes missing in my memory of that evening, mostly from
Oh,
later.
okay. You rue the day, do you?
Yeah, a little bit. Definitely the next morning was
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised that a cook like it, you don't get executed for cooking kangaroo in Australia, but I guess it's allowed.
Yeah.
That'd be like getting a dog sandwich in Canada. I don't know. Don't think it'd go over too well.
No, not up here. No, definitely not.
No. Um, I always go to Schwartz Deli, but the locals I know seem to prefer City Deli. I'm a traditionalist and know where Schwartz is. There you go. Very good. Well, listen, sir. We've almost taken 2 hours of your time here. It is now almost late in the Maritimes, so do you want to talk about the Lenka for 5 minutes, or you got to get going?
Yeah, we can do 5 minutes
Okay.
on that. I don't have
Yeah.
to. I'm going tuna fishing tomorrow, so not much more than that, but sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
little deep sea fishing,
You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish.
but you can
That
catch
was
one.
that was an album by REO Speedwagon back in the day. To cook kangaroo, you can easily overcook it, then throw it out. Oh, okay. Love the talk from Blaine. Keep it up, lad. Right on, Scotty. You having a few bush beers tonight? It must be cooked slow and medium rare at most. Oh,
Agreed.
so we're learning.
Agreed.
Nabil Raymond. Michkov had a down sophomore year. A lot of it is his fault, but let's not act like we know Demidov is for sure. But we had one.
Yeah. No, he's for sure better.
Yeah. Well, we can act like we know he's for sure better because we know he's better. He outscored Demidov as rookies.
Sure.
What do you mean he outscored? Like he had more goals, you mean?
Okay. Great. Yeah. If you say
All
so.
right. Yeah. I could show you a lot of guys that had more goals than other guys as rookies, and they weren't better. Look, the difference. Thank you, Nabil, for weighing in there, Flyer fan. Obviously a Flyer fan. It wouldn't be a Habs fan that says that. Look, Ivan Demidov is bigger. He is, compete level here. Michkov here. Demidov. He's a less selfish player. He's light years ahead of him defensively, and he's going to be a bigger scorer. He's probably going to average, I'd say, 10 to 30 points more per season would be my guess than Matvei Michkov. That's my prediction, but maybe it ends up being wrong. But typically, I saw a lot of similarities between Michkov and I made this comparison early on with Yakupov. He came into the league, had a very similar kind of rookie year, was half decent. He was a little younger. Then his second year, not so good. The coaches were also already saying, what's with this guy's attitude? And by the third year, another step back. By fourth year, let's get rid of this guy. I could see a similar path for Matvei Michkov in Philly. Perhaps the opposite happens. Perhaps this year in He's not spending the summer in Dubai getting into motorcycle or car accidents, and is training hard and comes back in shape, unlike last year. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be very interesting. The most important, like Philly management's biggest thing will be Matvey Michkov stepping on the scale at training camp. That's going to be very, very. It's high up on their list of pertinent things that they'll be looking at in training camp.
Yeah, yeah. He I don't think he trained at all in that summer, to be
No,
honest, because he looked like crap at the start of the year. They worked on him, but you look at come playoff time. He played 8 games,
pace.
but
He
yeah, he
cannot.
couldn't keep up.
No, he couldn't. He was the slowest guy on the ice,
If he
and
can
out of
fix
shape.
that, he's got a shot at being as good as Ivan Demidov. Because you look at Demidov's playoffs this year, night and day, the type of players they are.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, even if he fixes his pace, I don't think he'll ever be as good as Dem. He can't stick handle and shift like
No. He's a
Demidov. He's
shooter.
not that
He's a
type of
shooter.
player. He is, and he's an opportunist, but he's smart with the puck too. Like he's a good passer. He's good in the offensive zone, but I judge a player on their all-around game, on how they compete, how they play away from the puck. It's not just points. I think Demidov will always get more points than Michkov, but even if he doesn't, unless Michkov outscores him by 20 points, and I'd be shocked if he did, then he won't be a better all-around player than Ivan Demidov. It's already obvious. So the Halinka, I gave you a list of players there that I think, are probably the best bets to be in the discussion for being picked in the first round or top 40
Yep.
at least.
Yep.
Did you agree with that list?
Yeah, I would put these guys in the top 40 for sure.
Okay.
There's a couple of guys that I was really impressed by in this tournament that I think one for sure wasn't there.
Okay. Not the German kid, eh?
Yeah, the German kid. I thought.
Okay.
I don't know if he'll crack the top 40, but he impressed me.
Yeah.
Like,
that was
I think he might crack the second round.
Okay, good. I'm glad that was who you were going to mention, because I didn't have it. I hadn't written his name down, and I was in a rush, and I said, okay. There's also the German kid, but I couldn't think of his name. It starts with a C, Kelsis or whatever.
Yeah, Kelsey, Calce. He's centerman. He's going to play Brantford this year, so he's going to be in the OHL. He plays a 200-foot game. He's a two-way guy. He was essentially Germany's only weapon. And
it's tough.
I mean, he carried that team, and he did well considering.
Right. Yeah. No, that was certainly another name that should have been on that list, and I'm glad you brought him up. Was there any other? There's probably a couple other guys that who for you?
Yeah, I'm just bringing my list up here now. I'm going through it, looking at yours real quick. I don't know if he's going to crack into the second round. Shoot, where is he?
Playing for which team?
The Chechens, the defenseman.
Okay.
Undersized kid, Ward number 6.
Little guy that scored lots of points. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think he's 5'8".
I saw him in the U17s. I'm trying to find his name now. I can't pronounce it. Here, you bring up someone else, and I'll keep looking here.
Okay. Well, that list I don't have it in front of me, but out of that group, what do you think of Maris?
I really liked that kid's game. I saw him at the U17s, and he was really, really, really raw. but he's just a massive frame, and he moved fairly well for someone that big,
Yeah.
especially at that age. And then you see
Yeah.
him this year, he's refined his approach to the game, and he's refined his skating even more, and he looked so
Right.
much better. This is a kid who, what was he, drafted 4th or 5th in the import draft for the CHL this year. I think
Yeah.
he's going to Rimouski. Um, watch out for this
He,
guy. This guy's gonna be something else this
yeah,
season.
he, I think he, you know, we might be looking at a top 10 guy here, right? I mean,
Top
if
15,
we see another,
probably. Yeah.
if we see another jump like that, right, as the year goes along, you might be well, hey, 6'6" can skate like that if he puts up really good numbers. I don't know that the top 10's that great. Um, who who would have been your second favorite defenseman? Who would you have second on your list right now that was at the Halinka? Because I think we know
Not
who
named
number one
DuPont.
is. Right.
Not named
Oh,
DuPont.
he's your second? Oh, okay.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I expected so much more out of him.
Yeah, I hear you.
I know you're going to think I'm going to say l'Italien, but it's not. Neuschwander, the Swiss kid.
Okay, well, he's a centerman, is he not?
No, he's lefty.
Jona Nunschwander?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's a good player. He looks solid, doesn't he? So you were talking about
No, he's a forward.
Kashler?
Kachler. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really like this kid's game. I don't think he's going to be. I don't know if he'll be able to he'll crack that top 40. Maybe not even a second round. I think maybe a third round if he doesn't.
yeah. Well,
I don't know. I love his compete level. I love his attitude. I spoke to this kid a few times. He has a chip on his shoulder, and he plays with
yeah,
that chip, and I really enjoy that part of his game.
yeah.
He's undersized. I think he's like 5'9", and
Oh,
that's a
5'8".
generous. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
generous a listing. Having spoken
right.
to him face to face, but really, really smart offensive player. He sees lanes. He can create those openings. He skates really well. He is with a league that's going towards small, undersized, puck-moving defensemen. He fits that mold, but he plays with an edge, and he absolutely hates to lose not just games but individual
Mhm.
battles throughout a game, and
Right.
that I really
Well,
like.
yeah, that's Hudson Lake, right? So who knows?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like that part, but
Yeah, exactly.
Noonschwander's an all-around, all-purpose, all-around forward, right? He's got a really nice all-around game. He looks like a potential top 5 guy, doesn't he?
Um, yeah, I think he can do that. He's got his work cut out for him to get that high, but maybe top 12.
I know a few guys that have him top 5 at this point.
Yeah, it's early on, but there's a lot of Russian kids that I didn't get a chance to see that I think could push their way into that conversation. Like
Yeah,
you had a video of one kid that I
well,
think could really do it.
Skortsov and Privalov are
Yeah.
definitely top 5 for me, but after Dupont, those two, it's kind of, you know, I mean, it could be one of a dozen guys at this point, and that's often the case, right? It's pretty early, so.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
he's certainly in that conversation with some guys I know that were at the tournament and are really impressed. And you know, Kokkonen is another pretty solid defenseman. I think he's in that mix with L'Italien for the second best, maybe, that was you know,
Yeah.
out of this group, right?
See, I like Litadien's game, but I still think like I know there's more. He can give more. He's just a little bit too. He's still raw. He's still very raw. I
Oh
watched him all
yeah,
season in Halifax last year. Then I watched him in this tournament, and he's still making some mistakes that you don't expect a top pairing guy to make. But I know he can do so much more.
well, yeah. I mean, at the start of the tournament, there are a couple of real, you know, a
Yeah,
couple of pancakes, right, and stuff. But it happens. I'm
but he
not.
corrected himself.
Yeah, I thought as the tournament went on, he looked more and more solid, and it's the pack, it's the upside you look at, not necessarily the performance, right?
Yeah,
And he's pretty smooth and pretty. Botka's another one that's looks pretty solid, right? I didn't list him, but if you were going to talk other guys that could be top 40 that maybe I didn't put on that list, that seems to be a name that comes up a fair bit for the Slovaks. The Botka kid, did you like him?
yeah. I thought he played well. I thought Brock Cripps played really well as well. You
That's
had
the
him
other
on your
guy.
list. I really like that.
Yeah, uh I like his much like the Czech kid you were talking about, him competing. Um
Hmm.
Cripps Cripps is pretty solid defensively for an undersized defenseman, is he not?
His positioning is excellent.
It is. Yeah. He reminds me positioning wise, smarts wise, defensively of Hudson. I know that name keeps getting brought up, but hey,
Yeah,
Blaine Hudson's kind of just as Brendan Gallagher was the prototype guy that you compared to for competitive undersized forwards forever. Now Hudson's kind of the guy that name will be tossed around a lot over the next decade you know when you're talking about an undersized defenseman.
what about McCaslin? You had him on your list too, didn't you? Yeah,
I
there he
did.
is, right behind Cripps. Yeah, I liked his game as well. Good reach,
Yeah.
calm, poised. Um, a little bit. If he got a little bit more speed, with that first step, I think that would really make a big difference for him. But I liked his game.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, Blaine. Uh, I think that's we had you for 2 hours here, and that's usually it's about 30 minutes or 25, and I gotta go. So I really appreciate that you took the extra time tonight, and I think you were feeling guilty because you had to cancel last night. So it's all good. All works out in the
That's what
wash.
it was.
Okay. Thank you so
Once a
much.
month, whether I need it or not.
When are you heading off?
Well, I'm going tuna fishing tomorrow, so
Yeah, but I mean, like, when will you be at a
September.
range? September, eh? All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get you on again. You aren't gonna somehow make it down to the rookie tournament, I guess, in Gatineau.
Unfortunately, no.
The boat's not sailing up the St. Lawrence, the ship.
It's going the opposite direction.
Okay. All right, my friend. Thank you as always. A real pleasure to have you, and we'll have you on again soon.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Okay. Bye for now. Blain Potvin, folks, the one and only. Some good discussion there. I appreciate him coming on, of course, as always. Thank you, everybody. Hit that like button if you don't mind. It would be much appreciated. Um, you know, uh, I like to get 100 likes, as you know. Bonashare Caves, folks, Eganville, Ontario, private family-owned business run by hockey fans. They are, hey, it's almost we're almost at midpoint of August here. If you're going, now's probably a good time. There are the caves right there. Look at them pointing at a stalactite. It's 628-2283, area code 613. bonasharecaves.com. Check out their website. If you go, you will get a copy of my hockey book called Valley Snapshots, absolutely free, and that pays for your ticket in. So can't ask for a better deal than that. They'd even give you two if you really ask nicely. Told them that Grant sent you there. He'll Caveman Chris will look after you. So thanks thanks to Chris again for supporting me. He did last fall, and he did all summer. The only guy to regularly sponsor me so far on the podcast. We're working on we got a few irons in the fire, but nothing yet. Hey, if you're watching and you own a business and you think, you know, you want a unique advertising opportunity, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Trust me, you'll get a great price on some sponsorship. So, Uwe Krupp, what about him? Demi has more desire. Oh, absolutely. What bait do you use to catch Thomas Tatar? When I travel home, we always go to Schwartz. Sadly, the steakhouse around St. Lawrence Boulevard is no longer there. I can't recall the name as I've been away so long. Charles says, with Habs having some undersized players, there's no way Mooney can be on the team. Catch some Thomas Tatar. Happy travels overseas. Yes. Where it isn't close is work ethic and dedication. Sorry, not even close. No. Well, thanks for answering the question. You're right. Let's see what happens. For what it's worth, I would take Demetov too, but it's closer than you guys feel it is. No problem, Nabil. Thanks for being pleasant about it, and we'll see. I don't think it's particularly close, but one guy's on the way up, the other guy went like this. Will it switch? Maybe. Typically that doesn't happen, but I'm certainly not going to write off Michkov. He's smart. He can score. There's probably a lot of goals in it left in his stick in his NHL career if he trains and does what. Look, you've got to work. You've got to work in the off season. I don't care how skilled you are, and he hopefully learned that lesson this past year. Uwe was the only German NHLer I could think of. Oh, what about Stutzla? There've been, quite a few German NHLers. Who's the kid that got drafted by Chicago first round about 4 years ago? Pretty good player. I think he ended up in Seattle, Vancouver, was it? Reichel, Robert Reichel, and his son Lucas. The Reichels, obviously, right? They've had two or three that have played in the NHL. Paterka, that one draft class, they had Paterka and Stutzla, and they had two or three good young players all picked in the top 40. Leon Draisaitl, I've heard of him. I think he might be okay. No, if you keep going through the list, man, there's probably been 50, somewhere in that, Sider, Grubauer, Sturm. There's been a couple of Sturms. Marco Sturm back in the day, Jochen Hecht, Ole Kolzig was, German to a certain degree. Um, you know, you start listing them all, and there's probably 50. What is it? It says, oh, I'm just looking here, 45. I remember Marcel Mueller. He was half decent. Zuber played a game. Uh, Sven Butenschoen, defenseman, big defenseman. I remember him. Sulzer, Corbinian Holzer, Kuhnackel, of course, was it Eric Kuhnackel? He was great. I think the Habs might have even drafted him back in the day, but he, before they started coming over, Reeder, Jochen Hecht, Christian Ehrhoff, Dennis Seidenberg, great, solid NHL defenseman, 859 NHL games. Marcel Gotch, uh, Tobias Reeder, Brian Glynn, Dominic Cahoon, Schubert. So lots of, and I remember the Canadians back in the day drafted one really high. He never made it, but he was always really good at the World Championships. Trying to think of what year it was that he was drafted. Hagel or Heichel? I'll look it up here. Get the name. I think he was drafted in like the 3rd round. Hayden or never made it the NHL, but he had a hell of a. He was a terrific player in the World Championships every year. Mats Naslund, that was a decent pick, eh? Not coming across his name here. But he was one of the first Germans. Dieter Hagen, that's it. They picked him 46th overall between Chelios and Dahlin, actually. Yeah, he played a lot of years in the German. He played at the World Junior Championships, 5 games, 8 goals, and 7 games, 7 goals. So he had 15 goals in the 2 years in the World Junior Championships, and that's where I first saw him and thought, pretty good player. He just never came over to play. But Dieter Hagen, drafted in 1981, the year Chelios was drafted. Friggin' Habs, man, back in the days. That in that draft class, they picked Chelios in the Mark Hunter, Gilbert Delorme, Chris Chelios, Shel Dahlin, who was, almost won the rookie Calder, Steve Rooney, Tom Kervers. They were Habs were, and then of course Chelios was picked like in the 40s. Only played 1,659 games in the NHL. He was playing in Moose Jaw, of all places, Tier 2 hockey. Those were the days. It's back. The Habs are great. They're getting a lot of diamonds in the rough in the draft again, just like the old days. I couldn't recall the spelling. Okay. Well, look, folks, I have to. I'm going to do this again tomorrow night at 7:00, I guess. We'll do the top 10 on summer brunch with Rick and get his input on that. But so I got a lot of work ahead of me. I've been at it since 6:30 this morning, and you know what? I have to get back at it and probably work another 2 or 3 hours here because it's a lot of work to get these. I got to get all the videos together. Instat's not working right. I have to transfer it from one computer to the other, find my files on my other laptop, email them to myself, open them on this laptop, edit them. Anyway, pile of work. I hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow I'll do 11 picks 11 to 20, uh, 11 to 20 on my list, and we'll then on Sunday with Rick, I'll do the top 10. And hey, something to talk about while everything's kind of dead in the league and in Habs land, right? I figured I'd work as diligently as I could to get this ready for the weekend, and I'll do the reveal, the next 10 tomorrow night, and then the final top 10 on Sunday. And I hope you can tune in. Like this, retweet if you're on X what I posted. Please like this episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. All that good stuff. La Cafe. Hey, Leo, sorry I missed this earlier. Thank you for the $10 donation, my friend. Leo, by the way, owner of La Cafe Entre Amis in Montebello. He says I got to get up there and try his breakfast, and we'll see if we can't get away, Tina and I, for a trip up to beautiful Montebello to check out Le Cafe Entre Amis. Same goes for everybody else here. If you can, get up there for a visit, okay? And go see Leo and talk Habs. Charles with the $5 donation. It's not dollars, is it? £5 donation from Charles in lovely Glasgow, Scotland. Yes, folks, we've got people in Sydney, Australia, Glasgow, Scotland tuning in. We've got a great community here, and I'm a couple people talking about loved JU-LE. That's a fairly new name here. Welcome to HabsCast. Let us know where you're from. If you're on here and you're new, tell us where you reside from. I'm always curious to know where all of my where HabsCast Nation resides. Max Lapierre, yeah, he was a good player. Solid player. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate your hard work putting this together. Enjoy the rest of your night, sir. Looking forward to the rest of this list. Right on, Mark. Okay, Drum Dude. Great show. Well, great audience as usual. Hey, you're only as good as your audience, and you guys are the best. Good night, Grant. Enjoy the countdown to Reinbacher. He might be in tomorrow's list. He might be 11 to 20. So you're gonna have to tune in tomorrow night at 7:00 sharp to find out. All right. Great night to talk hockey on a great day to talk hockey. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching the show. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow night, I hope.